What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. For this week, I do have an update on the Amazing Race Australia, which I've been watching lately. They're in the season 5. They don't go out of the country. They stay within Australia, which is kind of bullshit. And then the second thing that they do that really irritates me is they don't give away the $1 million. Instead, it's just $250,000, you know, $250,000. That's it. So they're kind of cheap asses doing that, but whatever. Now, my team was the Gold Coast girls. They came in second, unfortunately. They didn't quite make it, which kind of sucks because I was really rooting for them. Because they were just whipping everybody's ass left and right. And then when it came down to final, I mean, they were just seconds behind the Cowboy team. I mean, they almost had it. It was just that close. A little disappointing, but hey, whatever. Almost 90% of the time, anytime I've ever watched The Amazing Race, the team I'm usually rooting for usually doesn't make it. They're usually not the ones to win. I think I've had one team, as I said before, you know, I'm going through all the past seasons of The Amazing Race. I think I'm on season 13 right now. So I still got a ways to go because there's like 30 some odd seasons. And I think I've only had one team that I actually chose, you know, that I rooted for to actually make it. Any other time, they've never made it. So I'm a bad chooser of who's going to make it in the end. But anyways, Australia race is done and over with this season. Sucks. The Gold Coast girls almost made it. Not quite. Oh well. Till next time. As far as news-wise goes, you know, like anything like political or anything like that, one thing I saw that really shocked me this week was they had like, I think it was 2 or 3 black teenage girls hop in this guy's Uber driver's car and try to steal it with him right there and halfway out of the car. And then they slammed on the gas, somehow got in on the passenger side, slammed on the gas and hit this dude twice as he's like halfway out of the car door, and then rolls the car and ends up killing him. And you know, CNN and most of the MSM, they're all, oh, it was an accident. But no, they blatantly killed this dude. You could see it. I mean, it's on video. It's ridiculous. Just crazy, some of the shit. And then you know, because they were black, the media tries to, you know, make it look like it was just a little accident or some shit when they blatantly killed the dude. Give me a fucking break, man. It's got retarded, some of the shit that's been going on by the far left and BLM and Antifa and all that. It's just, they're dumb. They've gotten stupid, and the shit needs to stop. Anyways, that's all I saw that really got on my nerves. This week, what I really wanted to talk about is I finally just got done binge watching the 1980s show called The Greatest American Hero. It was only on for about 3 seasons from like 1981 to 1983. It starred William Katt, Robert Culp, and Connie Selica, which Connie was a she was a looker back then. Anyways, basically the main gist of the show is don't, because the story's kind of screwed up. It makes little sense. But apparently these aliens decide to come, or alien, all you see is this one particular alien. Supposedly their world blew up or some shit is gone. And he goes around trying to find partners who can help their worlds or whatever. And partners he believes that have a capacity to do good. On Earth, he chooses William Katt and Robert Culp. William Katt's the only one who can wear the suit, though. Nobody else can wear it. It won't work for him. It's tuned to him for some reason. Right off the bat, the alien gives them an instruction booklet, and they lose it. So they don't know how the suit works. So they're constantly, throughout all the seasons, they're doing experiments on how to try to make the suit work and seeing what all it can do. Eventually, it don't take long. I think a couple of episodes or so, and William Katt's girlfriend, which is played by Connie, she becomes a member of the team, and she tries to help out too, but she's an attorney. But that's the main story. That's the main plot. Now, season 1 wasn't all that great. It was alright, but it had its ups and downs. Season 2 was a little bit better. In season 3, they were starting to get in the mold before they canceled the show. Now, there are some, technical issues and crap like that goes on in the show. In season 2, on an episode 8 called Plague, there's a scene where Bill and Pam have to go into a room, a motel room, saying 127, but it ends up saying it for both them and William Katt. And then later on, as they're doing it again, it shows Pam enter the room herself, and it says 107 instead. So it's they kind of screwed up there. Throughout every season, William Katt does this thing where he's flip-flopping, he's trying to learn how to fly or whatever. But it gets old after a while. You'd think after the first season he'd have it down, but no, he does it through every single season. A gag where he's like, flopping around while he's flying, he can't get it right. That gets old real quick. At the start of the show, Bill is kind of his partner, the FBI guy. He's kind of a douchebag. Pam is a hardcore feminist, which is just terrible. It makes the show really sad. There's several times throughout the seasons, first and second season, they do this gag where Ralph will be flying. He tends to run into a TV antenna and knock someone's TV out. That gets old. And whenever they make a bust or they catch bad guys, you hardly ever see like other cops or FBI agents show up on the scene. Once in a great while, but the majority of the time you don't ever see that. It just shows them catching the bad guys, and then Bill takes all the credit for catching, like he did it single-handedly. There is one episode in season 2 where the military knows about this particular alien or whatever. It comes out of this spaceship they found or crashed or whatever. However, once the alien escapes, the military doesn't go after it. You don't ever see them after. It's just Bill and Ralph. Bill and Ralph's the only ones that's going after this alien, which makes no sense. You know the military would be all over that shit, but not in that episode. About, I'd say halfway through season 2, Ralph still ain't quite got his landing right. He starts doing this flop and roll bit all the time. That gets old after a while. He can't ever land right. Ralph keeps a box of doggy treats at his house all the time. He doesn't have a dog, but he buys them all the time. And then the next thing you know, you're watching Bill eating up his doggy treats. Like, he comes over and he snacks on his doggy treats. What's the point of having them if you ain't got a dog? It makes no sense. There was a few scenes where they used stock footage from previous episodes from season 1. Like, I think it was like 3 or 4 times I saw them use, flying backgrounds. And then there's this one scene where he runs into this truck that rams into him in the front, and he peels himself off the front of the truck. Seen that a few times. By the time you get to season 3, he still can't land properly. He's still doing the flop thing still, which makes no sense. He should have it by this time. The flying and the landing. One thing that really got on my nerves, really got on my nerves, is Pam. She's an attorney, a counselor or whatever. Bill calls her that all the time. But there was a few episodes towards season 3 where he's handing her a gun and telling her to help him out. And I'm like, what the? She has no idea how to use a gun. She's an attorney, and it made no sense. She didn't know what she was doing, but he was trying to give her a gun and shit. Like, she's helping him partner up or some shit. It was kind of dumb. And then the last thing that got to me was there's 4 students throughout season 1 and most of season 2 that you see all the time. There's Tony and Debbie. They at the end of season 2 and most of season 3, they replaced them 2. And put 2 other people in there. Some Joey dude and some other girl. Some black-haired girl where Debbie was blonde. Which made entirely no sense. It doesn't explain what happened to him or anything. So that got on my nerves. But those were just some of the faults of the show. The rest of the show was actually pretty funny. It was actually a decent... it could have been a little bit better. It was kind of cheesy, it was a new idea and a new type of story, superhero story. But I liked the take and the idea on it. It just needed a little bit of tweaking. It would have been really, really great. The show was still really good. I loved the show. It was funny. It was a good 80s cheese show. It really was. I definitely highly recommend it if you're looking for something than what's being shown today. Most of the garbage that comes out today. Definitely check it out. I give it 2 thumbs up. And that's all I got to tell you for this week in the news. Let's get on to your B movie review. Alright, Movieholics. This week for your B-movie reviews, we are on Action Week. Now this week, I did a couple movies that was a part one, part two is a sequel. Had a sequel, I mean. Both of them were Burt Reynolds movies, and most people have heard of Burt Reynolds. Great actor, too bad he's gone and passed away. The first one is called White Lightning. And it was done in 1973. As far as the box office numbers go, it made about $6.5 million worldwide. So it didn't do all that great, but it was alright. Besides Burt Reynolds, the female lead in this was Jennifer Billingsley, and his co-actor was Bo Hopkins. Basically the story is, Burt Reynolds is a con man. He's doing time in jail for running moonshine. He hears that the sheriff kills his little brother in another county because he was going to expose the sheriff and his moonshine dealings. So he works a deal out with the FBI that he'll help him bring down this crooked sheriff and his moonshine business if they let him out early. So that's basically what he does. At the end he gets the sheriff and blah blah blah. Not a bad movie. It's pretty good for an action flick. It's it doesn't have like a super amount of action in it, just a few fight scenes and stuff, a couple car chases, I think, for the most part. But other than that, it's not too bad of a movie. It really didn't have any special effects, really, just your normal I think there was maybe a couple scenes where they shot some guns. Other than that was pretty much it. But there really wasn't any special effects in this. As far as the acting goes, you had some really good actors in this. So it definitely gets a solid 3 for acting. The story, you've seen it time and time again. Con helps the cops bring down some criminal enterprise or some shit like that. This just has to be moonshine. So the story was nothing spectacular. It was a decent story. I give it a 3. Overall, the movie gets a solid 3. It was a decent action flick. It didn't put me to sleep, in other words, so it was alright. It wasn't too bad. I recommend it. 2 thumbs up if you're looking for a good action flick. It is a good movie. Now, he did a sequel to this called Gator. It was actually Burt Reynolds' directorial debut, where he was at the helm of the movie. He actually wasn't going to do this movie, but when they told him they'd let him direct, he's like, oh, okay, I'm down. I'll do it then. So he had the lead on this. And it's basically pretty much the same thing, except for this time he's not in jail at the start of the movie. They have to chase him down at the beginning of the movie, hunt him down in the swamp, and then they talk him into doing it, helping him out, going after an old buddy of his that's now running the moonshine business in a different part of the state, county, or whatever. So he does. He basically gets him at the end, you know, all said and well and done. Again, not really a whole lot of special effects. You had some stunt driving, that kind of stuff. Which, you know, again, it was fine. I'll give it a 3 for all the stunt effects and stuff. It's pretty neat watching him do the boat scene at the beginning of the movie. The acting, you had some really great actors in this. You know, this movie was done in 1976. It made about 11 million at the box office, so it did a bit better than the first movie. It had Lauren Hutton as the lead female, and then country music western Jerry Reed was in this. He played the bad guy buddy who's running the moonshine business. He definitely seems country. He comes off really country anyway, like southern. So the acting was pretty good. I'll give it a 3. The acting, he had some really great actors in this. Story-wise, you know, it's very similar to a lot of other movies. So, you know, I give it a 3 too. It was alright. Overall, the movie gets a solid 3. I actually liked Gator better than I did White Lightning. So I definitely recommend this one even over White Lightning. So I give it 2 thumbs up. It was a good movie. Really was. Anyways, that's your action flicks I have for you this week. If you have any thoughts about what I said earlier, please leave them down in the comments below. And if you have any gems or underrated movies that I might not have ever heard of or gotten around to watching, please leave your suggestions down in the comments down below, and I'll get to reviewing them as soon as I can. Well, Movieholics, that's all I have for you this week. And until next time, I told you you'd be told the truth, and you just been told.